the back bumper of the 32. And this has been so hard to pass down here, but Emerson gonna clear Mayato. Not gonna go low. He's gonna try and fake the 48. Travato using the inside lane. Mayato now up half a groove. The second position looks for his first race. And hard contact. Mayato up in the air, up on the hood, on top of the Geico machine. All over his back bumper. Gonna have to be very tactical with his moves. Oh, and hard under braking. Travato nearly locked it up there. St. Barrett, big slide out of turn number 1. Comes Chris Samar, Kevin Cornelius. They're going to make a charge in the third lane. Is it too little, too late? Are they going to have the run out of turn number 4? Mark Emerson down low. They're all going to wreck. Dennis Fairclough in the lead right now. Here comes Nick Gardner. Hello and welcome to the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series live tonight from the Circuit of the Americas for race number 3 of season number 4 here in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. 40 laps tonight, 136 miles, presented by Rice Motorsports TV, a great sim broadcasting organization here on YouTube. They broadcast the Xfinity Series for the Below the Double Yellow Racing League. I'm joined here tonight in the booth with Zach Halper. And Zach, what are you looking forward to in tonight's race?
I'm looking forward to the unfamiliarity with this track still. A lot of these drivers are still fairly new to this track. It's new to NASCAR and it's new to us iRacers as well. So it's nice to see a lot of drivers who normally are really good at road courses seem to struggle a little bit more here.
Yeah, and it's a driver who is already shown to have separated himself from the pack in practice. That is going to be Zach Carr in the number 27 machine, last week's winner. Currently 1.6 seconds faster than the next fastest driver, and that is AJ Stravato, who is no slouch on these road courses. Obviously, Zach with some practice here at the Circuit of the Americas, and a 20-turn road course, 3.43 miles. Definitely a tricky place to master. Have you had any time around this track, Zach?
We had one race in VRL, I believe, for this track, and I was struggling very mightily with it. There's just so many places you can mess up, and even if you have one good sector, your next sector can be garbage and your whole lap's ruined. So it's not an easy place for sure.
Yeah, what I was struggling with just practicing around here and trying to understand the track layout is really just remembering where you're at on the track with so many corners. Definitely much more complicated than some of the other NASCAR road courses, being Charlotte Roval, Watkins Glen, Sonoma, even the Daytona road course is a bit simpler than this track, I would say. But it'll be interesting to see how many guys have figured it out in the limited amount of practice time as we do head to qualifying. And who has not figured it out just yet. Should be a lot of chaos here tonight. It should be a lot of fun to watch. We are pulling up the qualifying ticker as drivers rolling out to put in their qualifying laps. See how these guys do. They do have to keep a clean lap around here. They can't go off track. Some of these runoff areas do count as off tracks, so drivers are going to have to be very careful as to how far they get those tires off of the pavement. And it seemed a bit unpredictable when I was going around here, just exactly where it counts the off track. But these guys have probably figured it out by this point. Let's keep an eye here on Zach Carr. If he's on track, he is. And once he gets going on his hot lap, we're just going to ride on board with him. Try to better understand how to get around this place. And lap times up over 2 minutes here, so 40 laps doesn't seem like a whole lot, but 3.4 miles per lap definitely is a significant distance. And they'll get a break at lap number 12 when the stage caution comes out. and only the winner of the stage gets a bonus point, and that'll be a playoff point. We are watching these guys out on their outlaps, trying to get back around. Zach Carr making his way. With just a few more corners to go. This is turn 17 or 18. That I think is 18 right there. Going up to turn 19. And then through turn number 20 down this short chute. Turn 20 right here and back onto the front straightaway. Let's go on board with him as he gets up to speed. Into second gear, now up into third. Across the NASCAR start-finish line, which is not where it's going to count it here in iRacing, as he is hard under braking with this tight left-hander right up on the curb. Perfect line through there for Zach. We do have the track map up on screen so you can follow along. Right now it's not displaying the car numbers. Who is Zach Carr a little bit offline there through the S's. It's tight to the right side, back to the left. Then trying to get as far left here so he can cut back early. Get pointed back for this left-hander. You see him crank the wheel and then little lift through that kink there down towards the hairpin, the far end of the racetrack. Down this long straightaway, going to get up into fourth gear and speeds in excess of 160 miles an hour, maybe even higher than that. Let's take a look at what kind of speed he tops. 178 shown for Zach Carr down into the braking zone. Back to the left, another hairpin here. And man, this place is complicated.
It's so many more turns than you're used to for even a road course, and there's just so many different strategies to take. There's a lot more things like a double apex turn and more carousels and more hairpin turns than I've ever seen at any other road course. It's definitely I'm not a fan of it racing wise, but watching wise it was definitely interesting.
And of course NASCAR making their debut here earlier this year, a rain race, which was very interesting. I don't know if I'd call it successful, but it was definitely somewhat entertaining. But there was a bit of chaos and drama from NASCAR, those guys out there, as Zach Carr across the line at 2:12.52. That is going to be a tough lap to beat.
Yeah, that's a great time. That's already not as fast as his practice time, but still faster than everyone else's practice time. So he's going to be looking really good, holding on to that pole for now. And AJ Stravato just crossed the line the first time and puts down a 2:14.059. So about a second and a half off, almost 2 seconds off. And Keith Maiano just puts down another time, 2:13.3. So he's about a second off too. And that just shows you the pace that Zach Carr put down on that qualifying lap.
And you do have to be careful not to go too fast too quickly, because you can really overheat these tires on a track like this with no banking to really support the race car and some off camber. You can overheat these tires and your lap times can really fall off. Because we have 9 cars already with a lap time. I don't see anybody else really out there at the moment. Maybe Joshua Abbey as he gets up to speed for his first flyer. Drivers will be headed to the drivers meeting here in just a moment. I'm not sure if they're already in it or not, as Tony Baird makes his way around the racetrack. So 9 drivers with their times in. Zach Carr currently the fastest by about 0.8 of a second over Keith Maiano. AJ Stravato third, Safe Ferris fourth, Ryan Gemmel in the 5th spot. He's continuing to put time in here, trying to get a bit more practice in, I think, but Ryan really learning this place quick. I know he just bought the track last night, so he's gotten pretty good pace out of that car considering his little experience here. eye on if anybody else is out. So I don't think anybody else really attempting another hot lap. So we are going to cut to a commercial break. We'll be right back with the starting grid.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
All right, and back at the racetrack now with the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. Qualifying has completed, and we are headed to the starting grid for tonight's race at Circuit of the Americas. Starting up on the pole, it is going to be Zach Carr, the number 27 machine, going off last week's winner with a 2:12.52 second lap. Keith Mayato going to be rolling off from that second position up there on the front row. Rolling off from third, it will be AJ Stravato. Starting in fourth, it'll be Safe Ferris. Starting in fifth, it'll be Ryan Gemmel. Starting in the sixth position, it'll be Alex Pelican. Going off from seventh position, it'll be Anthony Pelican. Starting in the eighth position, it'll be Angelo Ronis. Starting in ninth tonight, it'll be Nick Gardner, the number 16, and rounding out the top 10, Tony Baird, number 98. Starting in 11th spot, it'll be Joshua Abbey, the number 5 machine. Reggie Ortega, who's had a really good start to his rookie season as well, going to be rolling off from the 12th position. Alice Sullivan starting from 13th here tonight. Alongside him, it'll be Garrett Wolfenbarger. Starting in 15th, it'll be Dennis Faircloth, who had a really good run last season at Road America, so an eye on that 80 machine. Alan Dice rolling off from 16th. Bradley Wilson going to be starting from the 17th position here tonight. Chris Samard rolling off from the 18th spot. James Loveland going to be rolling off from 19th. Starting in 20th, it'll be Andrew Stacy.
And starting in 21st will be Mark Beverly. 22nd, Michael Newman. 23rd, Jeremy Miller. 24th, Jacob Houston. 25th, Seth Hatchell. 26th, Clint Leatherwood. 27th, Jordan Shepler. 28th, Jeremiah Vincent. 29th, Nick Starling. 30th, Lyle Solfridge. 31st, Lane Solfridge. 32nd, Timmy Emanuele. 33rd, Cody Atkins, and rounding off our 34 car field tonight will be Dennis Steele.
All right, 34 drivers here at a 3.4 mile racetrack. Could be plenty of space for these guys to get around here, and looking forward to some great side-by-side racing. Looks like we have a car already pulling off. Tell who that is just yet. As Zach Carr gets us rolling here. If we can load up the car numbers for the track map. Doesn't look like they're showing up there, but at least you can see where everybody is on the track.
Looks like we just had 4 drivers been given an EOL penalty. I'm pretty sure that's them asking for it. And even drivers like Nick Starling and Alan Dice, who we see here every single week, are asking to go to the end of this very large field and just try to avoid any chaos and try to keep their car clean tonight.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys just do not want to get in the way. Some of these drivers may be getting EOLs from penalties during previous races. And so they're going to be headed to the back. As taking a look at where we're at here on the racetrack. Going to be coming towards the final corner, and we'll be off and away. Let's take a look at the weather quickly. 85-degree air temp, 89-degree track temp, so not too hot here in Austin, Texas. Zach Carr and Keith Mayato on the front row, about to get us going here. Circuit of the Americas, the Rice Motorsports TV 136. Waiting on that green flag to fly, and there it is, green flag in the air. We are underway. Down through turn number 1. Everybody gets through there pretty cleanly, at least up towards the front. We've got cars around though. Dallas Sullivan loops it through turn number 1. I think he got some help. Go back and take a quick look at that. Not too sure. It looks like he stacked up in front of him. He did get turned by the 51, and then, man, just accordion effect or domino effect towards the back there. But Zach Carr already pulling away 1 second in front of Keith Mayato. An eye on other racing action going on throughout the field. A lot of cars out here to keep track of as Dennis Faircloth battling it up with, that is going to be Jeremy Miller back here, winner of race number 1, making a return after missing last week's race. He is in 16th here to start things off, down into the hairpin. And he is going to go really deep into that corner underneath James Loveland. He's going to make 2 spots right there as cars slow a bit farther back. And it is just crazy how long it takes to get around this place. Chris Samard also started from the pit lane. Something to note, the 37, he's shown in 34th position right now at the tail end of the field.
Seeing a lot of drivers already locking up their tires, and that's not something you want to be doing on lap 1. We got another 11 laps to go after this until the stage break, and they're going to be screaming for the stage to end because they're not going to be able to drive this thing halfway through the stage after that.
Yeah, and taking a look at what they've got here, just 2 additional sets of tires, so they do have to manage their stuff. Oh, as we've got a car really wide. That was Joshua Abbey, but he's able to hang on to it, racing it up with Bradley Wilson back here, 14th, 15th position. As Zach Carr coming across the start-finish line, he will lead lap number 1, and Mayato already 2 seconds behind him. see if the 36 has anything to keep up with that 27 here tonight. Zach Carr already on a mission, pulling away.
I want to go back to that lap 1 incident in the very first turn. For a lot of these drivers, they feel like that's the only place they can make up spots, and that's the only time you're going to be that bundled together. You can see how spread apart these top 10 are already after just one lap. So a lot of aggression on that first lap, and a lot of times it leads to a wreck, and we'll probably see that again start of the next stage.
Yes, we do have cars making a little contact right there. The 70 machine of Lyle Sulfrich, the 81 of Cody Adkins, bumpers knocked around right there. As the battle for second is pretty close right now. Mayato just about 6 or 7 car lengths out in front of the 33 AJ Stravato. And not a surprise to see these two close to each other on the racetrack. Very good road course drivers and very similar skill level, I would say. They're always seemingly around each other on the track now, no matter road course or an oval. Everybody pretty well single filed out, no side by side until you get all the way back here to Dennis Faircloth, Joshua Abbey. Is Dennis trying to make up some ground here. Joshua with big damage on the nose and tail of that race car. I think maybe a result of the stack up there in turn number 1.
Watching this battle between the 30 car and Tony Baird and that little group right there. Jeremy Miller's looking like he has good speed right now, but I have seen him take a couple of turns pretty wide and lock up his stuff, so we'll see if he's burning his stuff up and can keep up the pace he's going right now.
Yeah, speaking of going a little bit wide, Nick Gardner went pretty wide there. I think he loses 2 positions in that exchange. And yeah, Jeremy Miller, a man on a mission as well. He is up 14 positions from starting in 23rd, and from what I could tell during the practice session, Jeremy definitely had some good pace. So one driver to keep an eye on for sure. Trying to see if there's anything else going on around here through the last set of corners. Looks like Tony Baird might be taking a peek. He does look to the inside of Nick Gardner, and Reggie Ortega really hard up over the curb right there. Some of those orange curbs are really dangerous to make contact with, especially coming through the S's right here. Gotta be very wary of those. If you hit them, you're definitely going up on 2 wheels, and you're gonna go shooting off the racing surface as well. You want to get as close to them as you can without making contact. As battle still on here for 11th. Yeah, this is good racing back here. We see the 51 of Bradley Wilson look to the inside of Tony Baird. Couldn't make it work right there, but down into the hairpin. Definitely a passing zone. Tony Baird's making, he's going to try and take an opportunity to make that pass, and that's going to shove the 16 wide. Now side by side down the long back straightaway. I think Gardner's just going to let him go. Seeing how aggressive he's been here his opening few laps.
AJ Stravato and Keith Mayato still bumper to bumper right now. They just can't pull away from each other, and Zach Carr's loving it because it's slowing them down, and he's pulling away ever so quickly.
Yeah, already almost 4 seconds up the road from these two. It might even be further than that. It's just not updating now. Yeah, 4.2 seconds as these two battle it out. 3 or 4 car lengths separating them at the moment. Going down into the last couple of corners here on lap number 3. And Zach Carr already on the front straightaway as these two just making it into the final corner. Yeah, battle to watch there for sure. And Safe Fares, he's behind them, but putting down pretty good lap times as well. Kind of all by himself, 3 seconds up the road in front of him is the next car, and then another 4 seconds behind him is Alex Pelican, who currently rides in that 5th spot. Anthony Pelican in 6th. Ryan Gemmel locks it up headed into turn number 1. Able to hang on to it right there, but let's go back here to this little 4 or 5 car pack. Reggie Ortega leading them in 11th. Jeremy Miller was in the middle of Garrett Wolfenbarger and Angelo Ronis, and Angelo and Jeremy, I think, used to racing around each other. But I think Jeremy, probably the biggest mover of the race so far, 14 positions gained. And he's kind of stabilized right here. He's not running really any faster than that 17, and the 32 is putting some heavy pressure on him. Out into the braking zone, almost bumper to bumper contact, and they're a little lockup by the 32. He's going to look to the inside of Angelo Ronis, who's going to give up 2 spots right there.
Jeremy Miller just taking advantage of any opening he kind of has right now, and I don't blame him. It's very difficult to pass at this track. There's not too many passing zones, and the ones there are pretty difficult to pass in. So, and he's obviously doing a great job passing he's up in numerous spots tonight.
Yeah, up to the 8th position. Really doing a fantastic job. The next car up the road from him, just 2 seconds. That's Ryan Gemmel. You can see him not far in front. We've got a car on pit lane. The 15 of Mark Beverly. It looks like he has been on pit road now for a pretty extended stop. I'm not sure if there's strategy to this. I think a 65% fuel load. I'm not sure if they can make it the whole stage or not, but he has been here for 40 seconds, so obviously issues for the 15. As AJ Stravato has made the pass on Keith Mayato, and last time around, 1.4 seconds faster than Keith, still a second slower than the 27. Looking at this group back here, they have separated out just a little bit, but Dennis Faircloth starting to close up towards Tony Baird. Seth Hatchell not far behind him, and then James Loveland also in tow. With Lane Sulfridge and Nick Starling. Nick going to take a peek down here into turn number 1. Go late braking, really inside lane right here. And he'll make that pass up to 20th position. Driver who started in 29th, so Nick has made some good ground. But 47 seconds behind the race leader already, just 5 laps in. Shows just what kind of pace that 27 has.
And it's very difficult when you start far back in the pack to really, you get far away from that leader very quickly. Not only are you running slower lap times, but you have traffic you have to try and get around. So you just get separated from them so quickly, and it's very difficult to make up time if you start in the back. And all these drivers in the back are going to be hoping for that caution to come out as quick as possible, and that we'll get one at stage 12. We don't normally see actual cautions here at road courses. It's normally just localized cautions to let these drivers know, hey, be careful, there's a car that's possibly stopped on the track somewhere, so just keep an eye out for them. But I don't really see much competition for Zach Carr tonight, unless if he makes a major mistake, and he can afford a couple of mistakes, having almost a 6-second lead now.
Yeah, that lead actually growing even further, up to 7 seconds as I take a look at it. And Jeremy Miller making another pass. He moves to the 7th spot, by Ryan Gemmel, the 6 machine. They make their way into the last couple of corners. You see Jeremy go really wide, but using that runoff area, I don't think you'll get any kind of a time penalty doing so. And then Ryan overshooting the entrance in that corner, that'll give the 30 a bit of breathing room. He pull away now by about a second. And keep an eye on this back here, 3 wide. That is Tony Baird, Dennis Faircloth, and Nick Gardner. As looks like a mistake possibly by the 16 and the 98. Make their way up towards turn number 1. Dennis Faircloth can go to the outside, and he's going to try and cut back, I think. The inside, but not able to turn in quite enough. But he is alongside Tony Baird as they go into the first right-hander here. And almost a little contact. Dennis Faircloth, though, going to secure that position, move him to 14th. Hatchell awaiting his opportunity to strike. last year's champion. Up 9 spots. Start things off here.
The 51 car is hounding the 22 of Reggie Ortega right now. He's just relentlessly on his bumper this whole time. And I'm not too sure how much longer he's going to want to be patient as he locks up the tires and gets on the Reggie Ortega's bumper again, but runs it a little wide and doesn't get quite as good of a runoff in that turn there.
Yeah, and that one's so crucial with the long back straightaway. You've really got to nail the throttle and hope you don't spin the tires all that much or kind of short shift into second. You can get a pretty good launch, but yeah, under braking hard here, you can see he closes up just a little bit and turns in a little bit tighter in that corner. Reggie a bit wide. That might give Bradley Wilson a bit of an opportunity to set him up in these next few corners. But these ones really the slowest on track and some of the most difficult, I would say. Really hard to know where you're going, especially if you don't have triple monitors or virtual reality. At a single monitor, you just can't look to the sides. And the 51 trying to hang on to it. He is drifting around these corners. And Nick Gardner's going to make a move to the inside. He'll take that spot. But Bradley going to try and fight back here into the second to last corner. Locks it up to the inside. And here comes Dennis Faircloth putting the power down, trying to get a move made there. And a little bump by the 51 to the 16. And here we go. 3 wide possibly as Dennis Faircloth makes an evasive move. And he is going to get by
car
both.
Sliding.
He is just drifting right now. He's burned those tires up.
But great move by the 80 just to stay patient and wait for the 2 drivers in front of him to really make the mistake. And I don't really think the 16 made a mistake per se. I just think he got bumped a little bit going into that turn, and that will do it to you when you're trying to, when every mile per hour can really make a difference into these turns. So nice patience there from the 80 to just take advantage of that.
Definitely a driver to watch for on these road courses. Dennis, a newer driver to iRacing, and we see him have his fair share of struggles occasionally, but his breakout race really was last year at Road America, finishing second to AJ Stravato, and in that race, really the only driver who could hang with AJ on the long runs. And, obviously AJ, no slouch in terms of road racing. He's second right now behind Zach Carr, who appears to have the dominant pace. But AJ also running a very strong race so far, keeping himself in position in case that 27 makes a mistake. We still have 33 of 34 cars on the lead lap. Jordan Scheffler in 33rd right now, currently about 2 minutes behind the race leader, so he could be getting lapped here in the next handful of circuits. But he's only got to make it to lap 12, so if he can stay on the lead lap until then, that is going to be a big advantage for him, rather than trying to take a wave around or get that lucky dog. If he does get lapped, it's 14 seconds further up the road to Lyle Sulfridge, so probably not too in danger of not being a lucky dog. Other battles on the track. Reggie Ortega going to get passed up now by Dennis Faircloth, so Dennis continuing to march forward. 22 though, putting some good power down here on the front straightaway. He's going to look to the outside of the 80 into the braking zone. Dennis a bit deeper into the corner, and Reggie's going to open the door by braking early, and there goes Nick Gardner, going to look to make the move, and he does. Maybe Reggie losing a little bit of grip in that race car, maybe being a bit conservative as the run progresses in order not to make any significant mistakes.
And just as you mentioned earlier, and just as you mentioned now, mistakes and burning up your tires too quick. The 51 car is losing pace and losing touch with this pack in front of him. He just keeps dropping, and I keep seeing him drift through these turns. And as cool it is to drift through the turns, it's not going to be fast.
Sideways is stylish, but it is not quick. You want to be smooth, And sometimes if it looks slow, it's actually really fast. As you could see him just drifting through the kink there, hard under braking now. I think he's probably having a great time out there. And he is definitely being entertaining for us. This is crazy, just spinning the tires all the way through the rev range, getting up to speed on the backstretch here. 17th position though for Bradley Wilson, so he has not been able to move forward as this run has gone on. Looking at other battles up towards the front, I see Alex Pelican and Safe Ferris swapping spots. 21 moving to 4th, Safe up to, or back to 5th now. And they have 10 seconds over Jeremy Miller, who trying to keep an eye on his lap times. Go look at the line. Zach Carr 2:16 flat. Next closest, I believe, Keith Mayato at 2:17.3. Yeah, it does appear to be the case. So 1.3 seconds slower than Zach Carr. Second fastest, as we do have Jordan Scheffler on pit lane.
Dennis Fairclough coming to pit lane as well. He was saying on the mic he's having issues. I think he said, I don't even know why I ran this tonight. He was starting to struggle really bad on that last lap coming into turn 12, and he's been going wide every single time, and looks like he's just going to pull into his pits, maybe take some tires and recoup and try to get something out of tonight.
Yeah,
after what was a really great start.
Yeah, he had really moved forward there, so that is disappointing. We'll see what he can do. As long as he doesn't go a lap down here, which he may be able to stay on the lead lap, but looks like he takes it behind the wall. Bit of frustration there, getting the best of the driver, the number 80, as he going to exit the race early. Not even 10 laps into it. We do have 2 cars off. If he comes back, though, maybe just taking a breather to calm himself down. Other battles on track.
Good battle between the 16 of Nick Gardner and Reggie Ortega right now. They're fairly close, along with 3 other drivers not too far in the shadows of them.
Seth Hatchell, Tony Baird, James Loveland. Loveland moving forward here. He was behind Hatchell for a bit of this race, and now up 6 spots from his 19th starting position. James, a driver who's very good at saving his stuff. He is closing in on the top 10. You can see up a little bit farther, Angelo Ronas, who started 8th. He's faded late in this run.
I'm still very impressed with how well Jeremy Miller's been running tonight. Up from 22nd to 6th right now. I don't think he's going to be able to get up to this 44 car of Safe Ferris right now. He is struggling, the 44 car, but it is about an 8-9 second gap between the two of them, and there's only going to be a couple laps left before the end of the stage. But Jeremy's going to be in a really good starting position for the next stage if he keeps up what he's doing right now. And with his pace that he's been putting up, he's definitely going to be running for a top 5 tonight.
Jeremy Miller, I think the biggest mover, and then you've got other drivers like Seth Hatchell and a few others that have moved up about 9 or 10 positions. Nick Starling, who had moved forward up inside the top 20, now back to 21st. It's Jeremiah Vincent moved past him. Jeremiah up 8 spots. And I know Jeremiah just was hoping that he would survive the race tonight. The top 20 would be, I think, a success in his books. Joshua Abbey, pretty solid run in 19th, but he is faded from the start. That damage may be part of that big crumple on the hood of the race car. A big dent in the back. And aerodynamics definitely huge at this track without its banking. Pretty flat racetrack overall. As Nick Gardner, Reggie Ortega, James Loveland still all within about a half second of each other, and James Loveland closing in on the 16. Gonna roll through the hairpin there, a little bit wide and a little late on the throttle. And this all going on almost a minute behind the race leader, Zach Carr, who is starting the next lap. So that is just how far ahead he is.
It's really impressive how far in front he is already. We've only been on the track for 11 laps now, and he's way in front of everyone. He has no competition right now.
So it will definitely come down to mistakes by that 27. It is his race to lose. AJ Stravato trying to keep him honest. Last time around, about 1.1 seconds off the pace. And he is definitely the second quickest car right now. My auto is faded a bit. And Alex Pelican actually starting to close up on the 36. He is only about 3.5 seconds behind him. So we'll see if Keith learns anything here in the second stage and keep up with the 33. And Jeremy Miller as well. He has not been able to pick up any more on safe fares. 11 seconds behind him right now.
16 car dives down to the inside of the 22 car of Reggie Ortega. He gets loose off of the turn and will be too wide going into the S's between the 56 car of James Loveland and Nick Gardner, the 16 car. Not a good place to be too wide. It's very difficult to get by here as they will settle out now.
Oh man, that is definitely sketchy. Getting down into there too wide like that. But they figure it out. James Loveland now up to 12th. He's trying to maybe make a move here on Reggie Ortega. Oh, but Nick Gardner, he's looking to get back underneath him. And
Nick not happy with losing that spot for sure. I'm just waiting for one of these drivers to overcook one of these turns and run right into the back of someone.
Oh, there you go right there. Reggie Ortega gets a bit of contact from the 56. And here goes Nick Gardner. He's going to try and move to the left side of the 22.
All part of his master plan. Let the 56 by, let him turn the 22 of Reggie Ortega, and then I take it to the inside going into one of these dead man's turns, as I like to call them. Very hard braking zones from going into high speeds. Reggie Ortega is going to take a wider line as Nick Gardner locks up the tires just a little bit. And they're still going to be too wide, but Reggie's going to have the preferred line.
Yeah, and Reggie able to hang on to that for the moment. He's going to slide up the racetrack right in the way of the 16, and there's not a whole lot you can do around here to try and get back to the gas and get around somebody low corners. See Nick just trying to set him up. He's looking left and right, just nowhere to go. He is now half a car length behind him. And just as they were as they started the previous lap is where they're going to end it. And last lap of the stage, Zach Carr out in front by 14.2 seconds over AJ Stravato. And Keith Mayauto third, Alex Pelican fourth, and Safe Ferris in that fifth position. There goes Zach, going to make a pass on Dennis Steele, who rides in the 27th spot. Will be the first car one lap down. Clint Leatherwood, last car on the lead lap, about 15 seconds up the road. Go back here, see if we can watch these guys battle it out on the last lap of the stage, but the caution will come out when Zach crosses the line. So if you're going to make that move, you've got to do it here in about the next 30 seconds, because I think Zach is not far from getting there. Handful of corners left for the 27 as he will add another playoff point to his total. Nick Gardner, he is right there into the kink. Here comes James Loveland, though, a good run through there. Maybe he is going to try and make the move. He looks left. Nick Gardner late into the braking zone, though, not going to allow the 56 to make that move. And here he goes, going to look to the left side of Reggie Ortega. Can't get the power down the straightaway. All of them spinning the tires. Here comes Seth Hatchell with a good run on the 56. He might just get around, and there is the yellow. So I think James able to hang on to that by nature of the caution coming out. Zach Carr wins the stage, leading the whole way. about 20 seconds in front of AJ Stravato at the moment. So 27
Zach
looking
Carr's
like.
Sorry.
I was gonna say 27 looks like he could go back to back here in Texas, winning last week at the Oval, Fort Worth, and now in Austin, Circuit of the Americas. Looks like he could take another victory and be the first multi-time winner this season.
And Zach Carr definitely going to be more protective on the next start of the stages. I can guarantee you AJ and Keith see how far in front he got so quickly. Only took him 12 laps to get almost 20 plus seconds ahead of them. And this is going to be probably their last chance at the start of this next stage to really get by him and put the pressure on him to make a pass instead of the other way around. And while I think if even AJ or Keith get by him, I think Zach will probably not have too many issues getting by them again. It's going to be an aggressive restart come state lap. Probably 15 will take the green.
Let's see if we can just pull Zach up right now. We can ask him a couple questions about the stage win. Come in.
Hey Zach, this is Zach up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy with me?
I have a copy.
Well, absolute dominant first stage from you. You lead all laps, and not just by a little bit. You were way ahead of the rest of the field. How are you feeling going into this next stage?
I'm feeling pretty confident. The car's, I don't want to say the car's a handful, but it's definitely, you have to kind of slowly take it really slowly on the racetrack. I don't know what it is. There's just really no grip to launch off these corners or even drive into the corners. So you just kind of have to take it nice and easy. And I'm feeling pretty confident so far after that first stage. I felt like the car was driving the way I needed it to, just to kind of have a steady pace. So.
Well, no reason for you not to feel confident after being ahead by 20 plus seconds on the rest of the field. And this next stage is going to be longer than the first stage. You more than likely will have to make a green flag pit stop. What's your strategy going to be there going in? Are you going to try and pit before everyone, or are you just going to take it by ear and see how the rest of the field handles it?
I don't know yet. I mean, based off some earlier road course races earlier this year, I mean, that I had done, there's really not a huge difference if it's like a lap before or a lap after the person you're racing against. The only time the difference really comes in is when you do like 2 to like 7 lap differences. I'm going to try to, just split it up evenly so it's not uneven, but pretty much just try to get it nice and even so we can have a pretty much even feel for the end of the race.
And there's going to be no rain in the area, so we won't have to worry about NASCAR calling it early. So you don't have to worry about that and worry about possible weather. But other than that, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Just sponsor this race. I don't really know who it is, but I know someone is sponsoring it, so I want to give a shout out to them. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Nick and everybody. Shout out to my teammates for practicing with me this week. Kind of helped me learn some things I didn't know and teaching them some things they didn't know. So just shout out to everybody pretty much.
Well, thank you, Zach. It was a pleasure speaking to you, and I have a feeling we might be speaking to you at the end of the race also. So good luck for the rest of this way, and
thank you.
Cool.
All right, that is Zach Carr as we pull him up into his team chat there. Winner of stage number 1, leading start to finish there. As the drivers going to be making their way onto the pit lane here in just a few moments to start pit stops. Some 4 fresh tires on there. You'll see the times pick right back up to where we started. But we are going to go to a quick side-by-side commercial break. As they do so with the long pace laps here. We'll show off a couple of the sponsors here for the League, Shenandoah Shine and Martin Sports and a few others. So stick around. We'll be right back with the green flag.
Watch your Element sign reading weekly on Sailor Tarot Magic's YouTube to answer all of your love and career questions. Call to schedule your personal reading at 732-314-0777.
Boston Web Marketing is New England's largest full-service web marketing company specializing in SEO, SEM, website design, social media management, reputation management, and more. Founded in 2009, we have rapidly expanded and are able to service small to large clients nationally as well as worldwide. We are a long-standing Google partner with a large team of SEO specialists, certified AdWords professionals, web designers, social media experts, and web marketing gurus. Our team provides excellent, knowledgeable, and highly effective web marketing services. Contact us today to get started. 617-676-8109. www.getfoundquick.com.
Simulators Anonymous is an online gaming community. The heart of this community is playing simulator-style games, everything from driving, farming, flying, to the occasional survival game. We would love for you to join us. If you play these style of games, or if you're just looking for a great community, we strive to be a community you can be an active participant in by offering events like every third Saturday night is a late night trucking on Truckers MP. We have a very own Minecraft server and with other servers starting soon. Come join Simulators Anonymous today at www.simulatorsanonymous.com.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing and specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors. Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey. The most challenging issue veterans face is reintegrating back into civilian life. This is increasingly hard with combat veterans that have witnessed the brutal environments of war. The issues they face include the sense of not having a purpose, the lack of camaraderie, and no longer being on a team. Adrenaline Therapy's mission is to bring veterans out of their element and introduce them to the fun and relaxation of the off-road. This is a way to help make these veterans feel a part of something again. This is what we call adrenaline therapy. In doing so, our goal is to help eliminate the 22-a-day epidemic of veteran suicide. Learn more by visiting outlawdesertracing.com/adrenaline therapy.
All right, and back at the racetrack now. About to go green here. We still got a handful of corners left to make our way around. But let's do a quick recap. One caution, no lead changes as Zach Carr has led the entire way. But now he's got AJ Stravato alongside him for this restart. We'll see if AJ can figure anything out here to keep up with that 27. He was the next quickest car. And he might have a good opportunity to get out in front of Zach through turn number 1. Yeah, we'll see if anything gets shaken up here. We will have green flag stops at some point. Field filtering through. A couple more corners left. And the restart will be in the hands of the 27. And they'll probably be in first gear for this restart, so it could be some spinning of the tires throughout the field, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Pace car going to make the left-hand turn onto the pit lane. Here we go, the 27 of Zach Carr out in front. Waiting to get the green flag, and there it is, off and away. A little stack up there. Reggie Ortega slow off the start, but everybody settled out back there. Down into turn number 1, or rather up into turn number 1. Here comes Keith Maiato, going to look to try and take second spot away. Locks it up just a little bit. They race it up for second. And behind them, it is Jeremy Miller and Alex Pelican, 4th and 5th. So Jeremy already up in the top 5. before the halfway point in this race, keep an eye on that 30 car. He's been very fast.
And the 56 car hard into the wall, inside barrier. Not quite sure what happened there.
Go back and find out. As he was racing, looks like just spins the tires there. Hard into the wall, like you said. Able to continue on back to 24th, and he's got to be worried about suspension damage on that car.
Yeah, that was a really hard hit. He was having a pretty good day, up about 5 spots after the first stage, and now he's just going to be looking to hopefully gain as many as he can as the rest of the night goes on.
Cody Adkins, big tire spin right there as we've got a battle in front of him. That is Lane Sulfridge, Alan Dice, Joshua Abbey, and Nick Starling's gotten around all of them. He's up to 19. Solid day for Nick, as in front of him, Jeremiah Vincent, Dallas Sullivan. Now Dallas has done a bit of the endurance racing here on iRacing, and trying to use some of the skills that he has learned from that. Here today up into 17th spot. Actually back 4 positions from where he started, so trying to recover. Get back up into the top 15. In front of him, it's looking a bit chaotic, nose to tail. We've got, that is Ryan Gemmel, Angelo Ronis, 9th. Actually, hold on. That was actually Garrett Wolfenbarger, not Angelo Ronis. Very similar color schemes. As right now, Angelo and Chris Samard gonna race it up side by side. Oh, the 51 hard into the braking zone, almost loses it, and he continues to drift here in stage number 2. But that time, it is definitely gonna cost him. Just missed that braking point, locked it up. But luckily stayed off of Chris Samard as we got a car slow up here. That is Garrett Wolfenbarger. We get passed up now by Tony Baird. Here comes Nick Gardner as well. And Nick really deep in the braking zone, looks to the inside of the 98 briefly. He will be alongside the 32. Wolfenbarger able to secure that spot. As up front, they're pretty well separated. Zach Carr already out 2.1 seconds. A chaotic first couple laps right there.
And we're going to see these drivers start to spread out a little bit, but we're still seeing this familiar faces being bunched up, like the 16 of Nick Gardner and the 98 of Tony Baird. They just can't seem to get wide open track tonight, and I'm sure they're wishing for it as the pressure's on from, let's see, I believe that's Garen Wolfenbarger.
Yeah, the 32 looked to the outside there. The 98 able to hold him off through the hairpin down the long back straightaway. The battle now behind them is going to be Chris Samard looking to left side of Nick Gardner. Samard, we can't forget, he started from the pit lane. It doesn't even show me where he qualified. Looks like he qualified at 18th, but elected to start from pit lane. As he now clears the 16 up to 12th. So Chris was at one point last, 34th position, and he's up to 12th. So good speed from that car. Oh, and contact there. And that is going to be the 32 around into the grass, able to keep it off the wall. He was battling. That was with Tony Baird. Looked to the inside. Actually might have just kept the car off of him and looped it to prevent contact. Off and away he goes. 20th position now behind his teammate Joshua Abbey. But a driver who's been up in the top 15 has to, he's going to have to make a charge to get back up there. Chris Samard up to 10th through all of that. He continues to march forward, making the pass on Tony Baird and Samard at 2:17. Pretty much flat right there. About a second and a half faster than Tony. So keep an eye on Chris to maybe get up there and challenge for a top 5. His next car in line is going to be Reggie Ortega, who's had a very solid race today. Started 12th, runs 9th. His fair share of close calls, but he's been pretty smooth overall.
We already see the leader, Zach Carr, starting to pull away from the rest of the field. But we do see the 44 car getting right to the bumper of Alex Pelican and getting to his inside, and Jeremy Miller going to look, possibly take it 3 wide into this turn, and it looks like Alex Pelican's going to back out, and Jeremy Miller slides it. Oh, they're both going. Oh, man. So Alex Pelican taking the right approach there, being patient, and both Jeremy Miller and Safe Ferris way overshoot the turn, but Jeremy Miller getting the very short end of the stick there.
We'll see the replay of this one. Yeah, this 30 just really late in the braking zone actually locks up the rears, and that mistake allows the 21 on by, the 44. Definitely too far in the braking zone as well. He locked up his front tires. Yeah, Alex Pelican, patience. We saw that earlier. Another situation with 3 drivers. I think Dennis Faircloth was the one who was patient, ended up making the pass.
Yeah, it was Dennis Faircloth in turn 20. I believe Nick Gardner bumped the 22 of Reggie Ortega's, won one of those cars, and he got by them.
A couple times we've already seen that. Just got to be patient around these road courses, race the track, not the other drivers sometimes. And sometimes things will fall right into your lap. Now Reggie Ortega going to be battling with Chris Samard. Chris is closed up to him, just about 4 or 5 car lengths behind him. And through the last couple of corners. Eye on other battles. Here's Jeremy Miller going to look to the inside of Anthony Pelican in turn number 1. Not going to be able to make the move stick right there. He is putting pressure back on to get to that 6th position. Making that mistake is really his only mistake so far this race. Let's see, he has just got it nailed through that through the S's. Getting back off a little bit. The 99 charges that corner hard. Jeremy setting himself up for the last couple of turns. Look at him close up right there. Right up to the bumper, and back on the throttle. He is right there, and he may make the move down into the hairpin here. Now looks like Anthony says, you can have it. I saw what happened here last lap.
And when there's a car that just has a much quicker pace than you, and they're hounding on your rear bumper, it's a lot of times of kind of just let the guy by. Maybe he'll go up there and make a mistake, which Jeremy has already made a mistake tonight. If you're not catching up to the rest of the field, you let these drivers by, and they might wreck each other. So you gotta sometimes take what you can get and give up what you will, and sometimes it will come back to help you. But definitely the right call to let that 30 car of Jeremy Miller by, as he's probably racing a little frustrated right now.
Yeah, we've got side-by-side battling right now. 17 of Angelo Rona, 16 of Nick Gardner, and 51 of Bradley Wilson making up some ground after a mistake early in this stage, back up to 14. But he is still pushing that race car. You can see smoke pouring out of it on entry to corners, on the exit. Yeah, right here, another evidence of that. Locks it up. There goes Dallas Sullivan. A bit smoother, but somehow the 51 gets the drive off, even from off course. And he'll hang on to the spot. Oh, and he's using the apron or the curbs right there, able to somehow get that car to hook, as he will come across the nose and go really wide here. And using all the runoff. I think this 51 car has been the most entertaining one to watch all race long. He is absolutely wheeling it, trying to get every ounce of speed, whether or not that's on the racetrack.
I have no clue how he's even still on the racetrack. I'm surprised that car's not wrecked yet. It's crazy to see how many times he's locked up the tires and gone sideways, and is just managing to somehow keep it straight and maintain position.
Darrell Waltrip would say that's a good handling race car. If you can control it like that. When I think when Jamie McMurray made that incredible save. Oh, look at that, both up over those huge curves right there, the 16 and the 51 up on 2 wheels as we were looking at them, and they continue on. But Nick Gardner, he's had a pretty entertaining race as well, I would say. He's been
in the thick of it every single lap. I have not seen him by himself once tonight, so very interesting from him tonight.
Yeah, and that is definitely the most intense version of this racing is when you're around these other cars. A bit easier when you're by yourself, but you're trying to stay off of people and hope they stay off of you for 40 laps. You gotta be really focused the whole time. As Samard and Ortega still battling up here, and Chris a bit better through there, but Reggie gets a good drive off. As they were, and looking up a bit farther, Alex Pelican, Safe Ferris, Safe, I think, trying to hang on to 4th. Right now doing so. The 21 all over him, coming in the last couple of corners.
We saw last run, the 44 car was just burning his stuff up very quickly. He started falling off towards the end. So again, it looks like Alex is just playing the patient game and waiting for Safe to have his tires fall off.
Yeah, actually they swapped positions on that lap, so Safe was behind, so maybe Alex pushed a little too hard here these first few laps. You see Jeremy Miller closing up. Jeremy still pushing the issue. Not able to see his lap times for some reason, but he's definitely closed up on those two in front of him. Fair is about 2 seconds faster than Alex Pelican. And still nobody even in the ballpark of Zach Carr. He ran at 2:14.9. AJ Stravato and Keith Mato about 2:16 4s and 5s. So still a second and a half off. It is going to be extremely difficult to beat this 27 car unless he gets a pit road speeding penalty, I think. Or for some reason they don't throw the tires on. So those are the only situations I think that car loses this race. And we're only just barely past halfway.
And there's really no reason for him to get any speeding penalties or penalties in general when coming to pit road. If you're up by as much as he is, you can really take it easy and just make sure you get in nice and smooth. And even if you overshoot your pit box, like, you're still going to be way ahead of the rest of the drivers. So and he's going to keep pulling away as he's running faster lap times than the rest of the field. And I predict that he's going to be pretty far in front, even no matter what he does tonight.
His race to lose for sure, as Chris Samar did make the pass on Reggie Ortega. Here comes Seth Patchell, now going to start to apply the pressure. Last year's champion, trying to race his way into the top 10. And Seth, very consistent, solid road racer. I don't think he would consider himself one of the best, but he is definitely, he's always up in the top 10 in these races, and doesn't make a lot of mistakes. At least not costly ones, as he is just trying to keep it on the track between the barriers. And so far has done a good job, up 14 positions from where he started.
And a lot of times for these drivers, just having decent finishes at your bad tracks are what you need to make a good playoff run and even get into the playoffs in the first place. If you can have a top 10 on one of your worst tracks, that's pretty good in my opinion.
One of the most consistent drivers here in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. His season last year, the championship season, he had the second highest top 10s in a season that anyone has ever had, just behind Josiah Vincent, who had incredible year in season number 2. He had 18 top 10s in 20 races, which is insane. Think about it, with all the potential for mistakes or just things out of your control. 18 top 10s in 20 races. Seth had 17 last year, the last season rather, and that consistency kept him right there in the championship hunt. Just a couple of wins, and he was able to make it into the championship finale, able to hold off AJ Stravato, who I think was the favorite. And AJ looking for redemption this season, trying to get back on that top step of the championship. And right now doing a good job here tonight.
Looks like Alex Pelican got by Safe as well not too long ago. I'm not quite sure where the pass happened, but it was pretty recent.
Yeah,
as we see a driver off track.
Yeah, on this lap, because Safe came across the line previously in front. As yeah, that is the 13 of Jordan Scheffler, who is a lap down. First car 1 lap down. And just trying to get out of the way, I think, the 13 machine. Right where he started in 27th, so car looks, I think, totally clean and trying to survive to the end and not be in the way. So doing a good job of that. 26 out of the 30 remaining cars still on the lead lap. James Loveland did take it behind the wall, as well as Andrew Stacy. Andrew out here for very long. He behind the wall 14 laps ago. And up here, the battle for second could be heating up as Mayato matching lap times with AJ Stravato, and they're only separated by 1 second. About 10 seconds behind the race leader.
Yeah, we could have seen AJ burn his stuff up at the very beginning, just trying to keep up with Zach Carr. And last time he started in third and was behind Keith, and not much he can do as they're pretty evenly matched. But we're kind of seeing a flip of what happened last time. Last time Keith burned his stuff up and AJ got by, so Keith may have learned from his mistakes, and AJ didn't learn from Keith's mistakes, possibly.
They dive into the hairpin. It's about 5 to 10 car lengths as they get back up speed down the backstretch. And I think pit stops will be the deciding factor between these two. Whenever they, whoever pits first, I think will end up coming away with second. They're gonna have to pit 15 laps sooner than Zach Carr, meaning Zach Carr is gonna have to not pit and run out of fuel for them to beat him. He is right now up the road 10.7 seconds, continuing to pull away. Last lap a second faster than Stravato. Looking for other battles. In anything right now, anybody side by side.
Yeah, the field's pretty spread out right now.
I think closest on track would be Seth Hatchell, Chris Samard. Right here, less than a second between these two. Is Seth starting to pick up the pace? He was about a second faster than Chris. And remember, Chris coming from the back of the field, he's had to really drive the wheels off that car, and he may be paying the price. Seth made it past Reggie Ortega, who's back to 11th. It will be 15 to go as Zach Carr. Trying to find where Zach is. He is already up into the S's.
Trouble with Jeremiah Vincent and the 32 of Garrett Wolfenbarger into that pinpoint turn in 12. I heard Jeremiah get on the radio and get very upset with him. Let's go ahead and see what happened between the two of them.
Wolfenbarger has been pushing the issue, and he definitely pushed the 9 car as they get together. He hits him a couple times and able to make the pass, but yeah, Jeremiah probably not too happy about that as Garrett Wolfenbarger on the pit lane along with Nick Starling. They bring it down. They're going to probably make their final pit stop. And looking for other drivers who have brought it down. There are the other Shenandoah Shine machines of Bradley Wilson, Joshua Abbey, and also Cody Adkins has already stopped. Alan Dice, Jordan Shepler, they've all made their pit stops. Kimi Emanuele. So the leaders yet to come down. Some of the back markers or mid-pack drivers already making their stops. Hope everyone is enjoying the race. I know pretty unusual track. You may not be familiar with it. Hopefully the race map or the track map is helping you out a little bit. It's a new thing we're trying out, and hopefully we can refine it a little bit. But what you're seeing on there, those numbers are the positions. So first place, you can see Zach Carr. He's coming into the final corner right here. He'll make the pass on a driver coming down the pit lane right now. That was is the driver in 30th. I believe Lyle Sulfridge, yeah, just stopping in the box right now. So, yeah, a couple new things we're trying out. And if you are enjoying the broadcast, please consider subscribing here on YouTube. It really helps us out a lot. Also, check us out on Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all the different social media links that you see on the screen right here. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. As things have kind of settled out for the moment, we're waiting for these leaders to start their pit cycle. Looks like the top 16 have yet to pit. A few other drivers behind there also yet to pit. Bradley Wilson, the top driver, who has stopped as he locks it up big time. That is after the second hairpin. Back in 20th position is Bradley, and actually, no, Nick Starling, the top driver. He's in 17th. I did not see that he had stopped, but he is trying to push that car really hard, make up as much time as possible. Tony Baird brings it down the pit lane. He is 16th. He'll surrender that position. Trying to keep track of all of this. With the leaders so far ahead, it's hard to see everybody at the same time. Tony on the pit road. Other drivers who have brought it down or are bringing it down. Look like anybody else on this lap. So battles on track. Dave Ferris and Jeremy Miller, they've swapped positions, 5th and 6th. No other battles on the track to speak of.
Yeah, with pit stops and just maybe drivers taking it a little bit easy because they know they have a little bit longer than the first stage. The field has gotten pretty spread out. And with pit stops, we'll see how lap cars take it into account as Zach is catching up to some of these people who have already pit. So we'll see if he decides when to pit, if that takes into account his decision. As I know I wouldn't want to be racing around these guys.
Yeah, and the pace of this 27 car is just incredible. He just ran a 2:16.5. Just for reference, AJ Stravato's fastest lap, at least according to what I'm seeing here, 2:16.9. But I don't think that's correct. I think that's actually wrong. But a lot of drivers have not run laps that fast. Keith Maotto at 2:13.5 is his fastest of the race. That's about a second and a half slower than Zach's fastest. And there are drivers coming out on fresh tires that can't run the time that Zach is running on 12-lap old tires. Just an incredible performance by Zach. As Chris Samard brings it on to pit lane. Also Dallas Sullivan bringing it down.
Lap car going to get in the way of the 33 of AJ Stravado, and Keith Mayo is going to get to his bumper going into this pin hair turn, but Keith's going to take a wider approach and try to get a good run off of it as he gets just to the inside of AJ, and this is going to be a drag race down the middle. AJ spun the tires, and Keith Mayo is going to get by him for second place.
Yeah, so taking the opportunity there to get that track position. See if Keith maybe follows it up with hitting here on this lap. Is really deep in the braking zone, goes AJ, locks it up, looks to the inside. Keith gives him room. AJ trying to get alongside, just can't quite. But yeah, good racing between these two. They have been pretty much dead even on lap times. They're trading laps. And right now it looks like Keith a little bit better than AJ late in the going, 12 laps in the run.
I definitely think you mentioned that one of these drivers should take advantage of what just happened in pit here. I think AJ, it would make a lot of sense for AJ to do it as he just lost the position and kind of burnt his stuff up, locking up the tires there. I wouldn't be surprised seeing him come to pit road here.
Yeah, they're both going to bypass pit road, at least go another lap for other drivers to bring it down. I don't see anybody. Could have a battle developing here. Nick Starling, who's in 14th on these fresh tires. Garrett Wolfenbarger not far behind him.
44 car on pit road. Safe Ferris.
Safe Ferris on pit road. And he's gonna, I think he was in the 6th position, so he'll surrender that. And looking for other drivers who are going to follow suit. Still quite a few inside the top 15 yet to pit. And here comes Reggie Ortega. He'll follow the 44. Not a bad decision to try and make up a little bit of ground on the front side of a run. As the car is somewhat stabilized late in the going. You fall off to a point, and then that's kind of where it lands. You run consistent laps at that point. See where they cycle out. Safe comes out onto the track in 11th. He'll get passed up by Angelo Ronas. Chris Samard behind him. About 12 seconds is what it's showing. Safe with a nice cushion, and all the drivers in front of him yet to make it stop. All he has to do is just push that car for the next 13 laps.
I think that was a good call on him to come to pit road right there. He's losing time to the guys in front of him. I think he'll start. He's obviously much better on these fresh tires. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes up some spots due to that strategy call, especially depending on when the people in front of him pit.
Yeah, I actually think Safe is one of the fastest cars on the fresh tires. It's just as they wear out, he really loses a lot of ground. But yeah, I think you're right. Probably the best move is hit early, take advantage of your short run speed, try and create a margin, and then just hold on there for the last little bit of the race as everybody falls off. So we're keeping an eye on the race leader, though, Zach Carr, up through turn number 1. Gonna come down pit lane. Here comes AJ, or rather Keith Mayato is gonna be the first of those two to bring it down, and kind of what I expected. Alex Pelican brings it down. Jeremy Miller gonna make a stop, and I think Anthony Pelican, here he comes. Ryan Gemmel, we'll see if he makes that drive down pit lane. So Hatchell's gonna stay out. Are in line is gonna be Nick Gardner, and he will also make the decision to come down. So quite a few drivers pitting on this lap, probably about as far as they can go on tires and fuel. Meanwhile, Zach Carr, AJ Stravato, Ryan Gemmel, Seth Hatchell still on track. That is the top 4. Everybody else has pit. Here comes Mayato. He's actually going to drive by Seth, take over 4th. How much farther ahead he was able to stop, and he's already taken that spot away. And next in line, Ryan Gemmel, just a second up the road.
I think Zach's going to stay out as long as he can, really, and there's no reason not to. I really think he's been taking, I know it's hard to, it's shocking to hear, but I think he's been taking it easy this run, and I think his tires, he's running faster than a lot of people on new tires, and he won't be running faster than Keith and AJ if they're on new tires, but with the gap that he has to those two drivers, he really can just take it easy and extend this run as long as he wants, and have the freshest tires towards the end, so that way it's hard to imagine the driver dominating this much. We don't see it too often in real life anymore, and we just haven't seen it in this series as well. The competition's normally, as he comes down pit road actually this time, so he must have been almost out of fuel, but we really don't see the competition like as much of a gap as we've seen tonight. It's normally very tight, but some drivers just have their specialties, and Zach Carr obviously very good everywhere else, but especially good here tonight.
Yeah, I think the most recent example that we've seen in the Real Cup Series would be Kyle Larson, I think, at Atlanta in the first part of that race, where he was, I think, at one point about 12 or 13 seconds ahead of second place. He had that car hooked up at that point, as AJ Stravato also brings it onto pit lane. Where Keith ends up in relation to those top 2. Here he comes out of into the final corner, and Zach Carr already exiting pit lane into turn number 1. An entire front straightaway ahead of Keith Mayato, and AJ just completing service. Here he comes off of pit road. Keith will take away second. Seth Hatchell remains on track, so he's going to be one of the last cars to pit. And he'll have some of the freshest tires, but it is going to cost him here in the initial little bit. He'll have to make up some ground in the last 10 laps. Here comes Angelo Ronis. He'll make a stop. Also, Ryan Gemmel brought it in this time. Both drivers going to cycle out right around the top 10. Ryan showing his 10th position, Angelo Ronis 11th. Nick Gardner, who is just coming down the front straightaway, is going to be right near Ryan as they sync up on track. But Zach Carr out in front. The gap is 13.8 seconds, so I think Keith cut about 4 seconds off by pitting a lap or two earlier. Still a huge margin out in front. Is Zach Carr going to put a lap on Alan Dice? He will be first car one lap down.
2 laps down now.
I'm seeing him as 21st at the moment, but this may have to update. Lane Sulford's behind him. That is actually a battle for position. And I would say this is a pretty solid run for Lane. I know he's not necessarily a road course ringer by any stretch of the imagination, but he's just on the outside of the top 20, although to give the spot back, I think, to the 57 of Alan Dice. They continue to battle side by side onto the front straightaway. Oh, almost got into him. Backs out of it, so they'll settle it out right there. Meanwhile, AJ Stravato, he is now 5.5 seconds behind Keith. And a lot of ground to make up, and pretty much equal tires. Maybe a lap pressure will be a tall task, I think. And behind them, Seth Hatchell finally onto pit road. He'll make a stop, come to the attention of his crew. And that signals, I think, the completion of the pit cycle. Yeah, the only driver who's been out here for more than 10 laps on a stint is Michael Newman. He has 15-lap-old tires. I'm not sure if he's going to bring it in or not, but he is already a lap down, almost 2 laps down. So not going to be a factor in terms of winning the race or top 10. And with less than 10 to go, we're going to go to a quick side-by-side, and we will be right back.
Boston Web Marketing is New England's largest full-service web marketing company specializing in SEO, SEM, website design, social media management, reputation management, and more. Founded in 2009, we have rapidly expanded and are able to service small to large clients nationally as well as worldwide. We are a long-standing Google partner with a large team of SEO specialists, certified AdWords professionals, web designers, social media experts, and web marketing gurus. Our team provides excellent, knowledgeable, and highly effective web marketing services. Contact us today to get started. 617-676-8109. www.getfoundquick.com.
Simulators Anonymous is an online gaming community. The heart of this community is playing simulator-style games, everything from driving, farming, flying to the occasional survival game. We would love for you to join us. If you play these style of games, or if you're just looking for a great community, we strive to be a community you can be an active participant in by offering events like every third Saturday night is a late night trucking on Truckers MP. We have a very own Minecraft server and with other servers starting soon. Come join Simulators Anonymous today at www.simulatorsanonymous.com.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors. Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
Jim, these two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
Watch your Element sign reading weekly on Sailor Tarot Magic's YouTube to answer all of your love and career questions. Call to schedule your personal reading at 732-314-0777.
All right, and we are back on the racetrack now. You saw a close call there between Reggie Ortega and Angelo Ronas. They are racing 12th and 13th right now, trying to track down Nick Gardner, who is 12 seconds up the road. So Garrett Wolfenbarger, Nick Starling, Dallas Sullivan. This is kind of the main group of racing on the track. Everybody else pretty well separated. Nick Starling on the oldest tires, actually very comparable to Garrett Wolfenbarger, both 8 laps on their set. And then I think Angelo, with the freshest tires, just 3 laps on his. So he's got a good shot to maybe overtake Reggie, who's got 5 laps on his set of tires. So a bit of mixtures of strategies all colliding here in the late going. How it worked out for these guys. Meanwhile, Zach Carr out in front, continuing to drive away, now 23 seconds ahead. And I don't know if there's much hope left for anybody else.
Yeah, Zach could get a flat tire and pretty much still maintain the lead, it seems like, with his pace. But Keith Maiato getting held up by a lap car. I'm not sure who that is. 39 car of Timmy Emanuele. He's going to go down to the inside of him and try to get down as Timmy overshoots it, or maybe just lets Keith by. But now AJ going to be a little bit closer, but he's going to be 3 wide. Timmy backs off.
A dangerous situation for Stravato as he cuts through the grass just a little bit. And at the end of this pit cycle, or the previous pit cycle, AJ was 5.5 seconds behind Keith. That margin now just 2.5 seconds, even with just battling through that traffic there. So AJ definitely closing on the 36. Nobody's got anything for the 27 in terms of lap time, but AJ is second quickest, only a half second off of Zach's time. So maybe AJ learning something here in this last run, but Zach Carr go around. That might have been Timmy Emanuele. He's going to bring it to pit lane. Not sure if he had an issue there. How about this? Dallas Sullivan continuing his march forward. The smiley face helmet, the number 46. He'll take over 14th from Nick Starling. Doing a great job today is Dallas, who started 13th, and he's looking to get back there before the end of the day. Not too many laps left, but he's only 3.5 seconds behind Angelo and Reggie, who are fighting it out for 12th position. They haven't really separated at all. So it looks like Seth Hatchell, Ryan Gemmel racing for position inside the top 10. Ryan said he'd be happy with just a top 10 finish here. I think he said a top 20, actually. And Hatchell, who has been running behind him almost the entire race, hit one lap later, and he has just driven up past him. Got his sights set now on his teammate Chris Samard, who is 12.5 seconds up the road. I don't know if there's enough time to get there to do that. But good run for Seth, who started all the way back in 25th, up 16 spots.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of drivers really make good moves up to the front tonight. Jeremy Miller being the first one, starting 22nd, getting up to 5th. Chris Samard, with even more spots gained, going from 34th, starting in the pits and going to 8th right now. So really good night for him. I know starting in the pits at a road course is a lot of times a death sentence, so he's recovering very well after an issue he had early on. We already mentioned Seth Hatchell with a very good night as well, and another one flying a little bit under the radar is Nick Starling, going from 28th to 15th right now, having a good night as well.
Yeah, Nick doing a really good job here. You know, I know it was a bit of a question mark on the schedule for a lot of these guys. Nick have really pretty solid runs at the road courses. He won't wow you with his speed, but he will be consistent and very few mistakes here tonight. And it looks like he'll end up finishing on the lead lap in the top 15, so not too much to be ashamed of there. He's got the strategy right too, able to gain a few spots, I think, through the pit cycle. But teammates are battling up here. That is Hatchell and Gemmel racing it up for the last two positions in the top 10, and they continue to battle. It might even open up an opportunity for Nick Gardner to maybe close up a little, but he's 6 seconds behind. Might be too far. But any mistake here between these teammates could open up that opportunity. Down into the final corner, Hatchell still with the advantage up to car lengths. And Ryan, who has picked up the pace now on one lap fresher tires, or older tires rather. Seth has the fresher tires. Ryan doing a good job hanging with them even on that disadvantage. Trying to find something else out here. Angelo Ronis, Reggie Ortega, they're still within a second of each other, but Angelo's not been able to make that move. And not too far behind that is going to be Dallas Sullivan as they make their way around Clint Leatherwood. We haven't talked about Clint at all here tonight. He is 25th. Heavy damage on the rear end of that race car. Right around where he started. Joshua Abbey, who actually had a really strong run going early in the night, he's faded back to 24th. And he had a long pit stop, 54 seconds. So either speeding or he just decided to get some damage repaired finally. But he is back here one lap down, 24th position. Timmy Emanuele up 9 spots into 23rd. So actually not a bad run for Timmy. He started way back in 32nd. And overall he survived, still out here. Pretty good speed down the backstretch. Looking for other battles though. Ryan Gemmel, Seth Hatchell not too far behind Timmy. Continuing to fight it out. Make their way, I think that's Michael Newman who got out of the way for them. He pulled right on over. A lot of drivers doing that tonight, which is really nice.
You don't want to create any enemies for no reason.
that it's so easy to get in the way on a road course if you just get out of the line that guys expect you to be in. It can really slow them up and cause some big issues. It's hard to get on the brakes any differently than what you're used to. As there's another example up there. Actually, Jordan Shepler pulls out of the way. Timmy Emanuele on board right now with Ryan Gemmel as he's trying to keep up with his teammate. Seth starting to slowly creep away now. Jeremy Miller in the 5th position. Looks like this is about where he'll settle out. 11 seconds behind Alex Pelican. Alex has had a really strong race tonight. Started in 6th, and he has been up here in the top 5 all night. Times trading positions with Safe Ferris, Jeremy Miller. Nick Gardner was battling with them at 1.2, and he's been running incredibly consistent up here. And a very strong night. If you can't win, a top 5 is basically the next best thing.
I'm just still in shock with how far in front Zach Carr is. It would make you think he's a road course ringer, which he's far from a road course ringer. He comes out and competes every single week. And when I think of road course ringers, you think of drivers like Marcus Ambrose and maybe even the Juan Pablo Montoya and whatnot. These drivers that can come out and just don't really compete on the ovals, but when it came to these road courses, they came out and a lot of times dominated. And just imagine if those drivers were able to go around tracks like these. I feel like we might be seeing something similar as what we're seeing tonight.
Yeah, 30 seconds the advantage. That is just under a quarter of a lap, and he could still stretch it out here with a few more to go. Definitely as impressive as it gets. I know I was in a race at Sonoma with Keith once, and he had us all covered. I think he beat me by 24 seconds. And I thought that was just incredible. You know, I was running really as fast as I possibly could, and the thing was just mistakes that made the difference, really. He just was able to flawless, and that's basically what the 27 has done here tonight. Just a flawless race, no damage. He's got 17 incident points just from little runoffs, I think, but technically all those areas are legal to drive in. And that is the second least incidents of anyone who's completed all the laps. Keith Mayato with 14 incidents, or incident points rather. Technically, I think Keith stayed on the racing surface a bit more, but that's probably why he's 30 seconds behind, because I think Zach using every ounce of racetrack his advantage.
We're seeing a really big gaggle of cars here going straight into the S's, with the 6 and the 8 being in the middle of it. And the 8 car not happy with that, because I know Timmy and the 71 car, I'm not sure if that's Lane or Lyle, that's Lane Solfridge, they were getting a little bit down each other's throats there for a second. And the 6 car right now on the bumper of the 8 car, let's see how nice they're going to play.
Yeah, and I know these guys will race hard. The V-Speed drivers always willing to take it to each other. And Ryan trying to set him up. Is Seth going to try and make the move now on the 71 machine? He'll get to the inside. That'll help him out pretty significantly. Now Ryan will make the pass as well down into the braking zone. The hairpin. All this going on about a minute and a half behind Zach Carr. Thank you for the subscription, John Podbasek. Appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying. Is Zach Carr dominating? Just a lap and a half remaining as he makes his way down towards the hairpin on the far end of the racetrack.
I just saw the 51 car go spinning around again, doing a little 360 again, and it turned around. I've seen him do that a couple times tonight. And he just, what started as a really good night, he just doesn't have that long run speed, and he's just burned up his stuff and can't really hold on to his lines anymore tonight. But he really was an interesting driver to watch early on, and even still now, you can see just how wiggly that car is, and the rear end just getting out from underneath him almost every turn.
We go on board here for a few corners. Oh, I jinxed him. He goes
I don't
around.
think it's much of a jinx now. He's been
That's
going
true.
around a lot.
Oh, and this is happening right in front of Seth Hatchell, Ryan Gemmel, and Timmy Emanuele got big sideways out of that corner as well. And that checked up Seth a little bit. But I think Ryan also got checked up. But they continue to battle. And not too far behind is going to be the race leader, Zach Carr. Actually, yeah, he's still about 45 seconds back, so he's still a ways behind. But yeah, this is not a good situation here for Ryan, who's stuck on the outside of Timmy. They make their way into the S's now, able to clear him, but that cost him probably about 5 or 6 car lengths, if not more. As we are taking a look here at that car coming into the final corner. Headed towards the white flag. One more to go for Zach Carr, who's dominated. And he has led every lap and is up by 36 seconds on the 36 car. But the battle for second, far from over, as Mayato has Stravato right there behind him. 2 car lengths in hand for D-Speed Machine, and then Stravato behind him. Here we go, down into the final corner. They're going to take the white flag in just a few moments. But heavy pressure for one more lap. We'll see if Keith can hang on to it, or if AJ, with that 1 lap advantage on tires, is able to get back past him. Look at that, though, trying to get through the gears. Big wiggle there. Some excitement for the closing lap. As Zach Carr, way out in front, he can just, I think he could just throw it in 4th gear and keep it there for the rest of the way. As Mayato, big slide out of turn 1. Still 2 or 3 car lengths between these two. You know, Keith is going to be driving the wheels off right here. AJ about 2 seconds faster the previous lap in the margin. Less than a half second right now. So Keith is going to have to find something in that race car. Going to have to try some new things for this final lap, and that could end up costing him. And Seth Hatchell, Ryan Gemmel, they have separated now by over 2 seconds. So this is the battle, really the only battle for position. As, oh, look at that big slide for AJ. Down through the kink, down into the hairpin. The far side of the racetrack. Zach Carr, though, 2 more corners. Or rather, not 2 more. I'm looking at the 27th position race car. He's got a handful of corners remaining. Meanwhile, down the backstretch, AJ Stravato still 6/10. Separating these two hard on the brakes, on the rumble strips. Mayato nice and smooth through there, if not just a little slow, though, as AJ slides the back end. Got to push so hard to get there, and I just don't think he's got the tires left. And the 27 of Zach Carr across the finish line. He's going to win at COTA, his 2nd win in a row. He sweeps Texas. A dominating performance. Nobody touching him again for the 2nd week in a row. 27 car already looking to be an early championship favorite, I think, just 3 races in. If he can keep up performances like this. But battle for second still on. These two coming into the final corner. AJ maybe he's going to have to go full send. Here he goes. Tries to get there. Locks the brakes up. Keith Mayato's going to hang on for 2nd. Up through the gears he goes. Mayato 2nd. AJ Stravato 3rd. What a battle there between those two. Last lap. Here's another one. Angelo Ronas, Reggie Ortega. We'll try and keep an eye on this. They still have a whole half lap to go. Meanwhile, Zach Carr on his victory lap. And huge congratulations to him, the race winner here tonight. Needs 40 laps on his way to victory. And I don't know if there's a whole lot I could say other than that. One of the most dominating performances I've seen here on the sim. And he's definitely a scary man.
It's amazing, as you mentioned, just how big of a lead he finished with. And I know AJ and Keith are looking at that, and it's like, man, like we've got some serious competition to this year. I know AJ was talking about it And he was saying the competition this year is a lot stiffer, and we're seeing it now as we have drivers winning by 40 seconds almost. So just a lot better competition this year for some of these drivers.
Yeah, and that is a new league record, the largest margin of victory here in Below the Double Yellow Racing League, as the battle back here just outside the top 10. Angelo Ronas tries to get the power down, can't get past Reggie Ortega, and they will finish 12th and 13th, but good battle between those two for the last bit of the race. Look at this extended burnout here on the backstretch, as Zach trying to do some Formula Drift, show off even more.
He's doing his best Bradley Wilson impersonation.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. As he gonna bring it around and show off for all the fans here. He's the guy to beat these road courses. So congrats to Zach Carr, winner after starting on the pole. Leads every lap, wins 38 seconds over Keith Mayato. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. And back at the racetrack, going to be pulling up our race winner for the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series race at Circuit of the Americas, Zach Carr. Adam in the V-Speed booth, you got me.
I have you.
Well, Zach, we talked to you after stage number 1, but you didn't relinquish the lead at any point during the race. You lead every single lap after starting on the pole. And you set a new record here in the Below the Double Yellow Racing League for biggest margin of victory, 38.6 seconds up in front of Keith Mayato. I don't know what else to say other than dominance, and I think you're going to be the guy to beat here on these road courses this time. And, how'd it feel from your perspective?
It felt very smooth. There was a little panic off the beginning of each run because Keith and AJ, they both were much better getting deeper into the sharp corners. I think there's about 3 sharp corners on the track, or hard braking zones, I should say. And they were a little bit better than me at the beginning of the run because I was just trying to make sure I wasn't going to miss the corner, because you're better off, undercutting the corner than, overcutting the corner. So, besides that, it felt very smooth. Just kind of make sure I keep my eye out for lap cars, make sure, I know what's going on with them so I don't make a mistake there. And everybody was pretty clean when I got through them or past them. So I'd say overall the night was very smooth.
Yeah, definitely smooth. We saw some drivers really struggling for grip out there, but I mean, did you feel much of a change as the run went on? It seemed like you were able to maintain lap times a lot better than those guys. Is there a secret to getting around here and preserving those tires?
I mean, there is. I guess the best way to describe it is just just take care of your tires, even if that you have to go slow. Like I said at the stage to Zach, I kind of had to crawl around a lot of the corners because the car just didn't want to rotate. And when you have a car that's not going to want to rotate or even stop for corners, you're going to burn them up trying to force the car to do what it's not going to do. And I was talking to AJ, my teammate, and he was telling me what he was struggling with trying to race Keith. And Keith just told me before I came in here, they both were struggling with not forcing the car. They were forcing the car too much. And like I said, if you do that, your car is not going to handle the way it needs to later in the run. So I just knew that I was probably faster overall pace. So just kind of keep my car as straight as I can. Don't lock up, don't wheel hop, just keep it on the track. And I think I should have been good for the rest of the race.
Definitely a really strong, impressive drive, just dominating performance. You sweep Texas, both of the races in the state here. And we go to Rockingham next, the 90s throwback race. I know you like painting cars, and you got anything planned for that one?
Not yet. I've seen people release theirs, but I haven't really gotten around to it after, as you've seen, I made a new scheme for this weekend. So I'm going to have to get back to the drawing boards and figure something out.
Yeah, we'll be excited to see what you've got on that car and see if you can go 3 races in a row and really cement yourself as a favorite here early on. 2 wins back to back, climbing up the all-time wins leaderboard and really creating a points gap, I think, well, behind or to the guys behind you early in this. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's victory?
All the sponsors of the league, definitely you guys for broadcasting, the league owners, majorly my teammates. Those guys, they help me out every week. If I need help with something, whether it's paints or learning the track or learning something new, they're there for me. And if they ever need something like this week, I held a practice and kind of helped my teammate Reggie a little bit and taught him a little bit of things about what he could do better at this track. And that's just how it works with teammates. So just a big shout out to my teammates.
Awesome, Zach. Well, congrats on a dominating performance 2 weeks in a row. Another win here in the Below the WL Racing League. Go celebrate, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you, Adam.
That was winner of tonight's race, Zach Carr. We're going to pull up second place finisher. That is Mayato. Probably feels like a victory, able to survive all this. Zach, I believe you're with him.
Hey, Keith, this is Zach up in the VSP booth. Do you have a copy with me?
I do.
Well, you really had a great race tonight, and second place finish, as Adam just mentioned to us, has to almost feel like a win in a sort. You held off AJ there at the end. That was a good battle between you two, and you're going to keep up the momentum going into next week at Rockingham. But how are you feeling about this race tonight?
Yeah, other than being like 30 seconds behind Zach, it was actually a pretty good race. The whole time I didn't even think about racing him. It was just racing AJ the whole time. Pretty much we were like racing for a win, which was only second place, but it went as planned, except for a little mishap in turn 1 on the second last lap. But it was a fun race.
And I heard on the driver chat between radios that there was a little bit of discussion and disappointment for the lap cars with AJ and you and whatnot. And how much of a factor was lap cars in those last couple of laps?
Yeah, I don't know if it was in the last couple laps, we were kind of getting it both ways. Like I would run into guys at the wrong place coming out of like tight corners and the tight part of the track. And I think we were even that way. It was kind of give and take. It was more before the last stop where he got with some traffic there, which I got that chance to get ahead of him. So I think that made my job a little easier on the last stint. But I think in the last run, it was give and take between both of us.
Well, you guys definitely put on a show for us tonight, and even with the large margin between you and the leader, it was still a great race to watch between you two, and we want to thank you for that. It was very entertaining to watch. And what do you look forward to next week in Rockingham? Any plans? And we also know that it's going to be a throwback paint scheme night, so are you going to have any plans for a paint scheme as well?
Yeah, I'm going to have to start getting on those plans for a paint scheme and then bug Adam to get that done for me. Rockingham usually, not my favorite track. Let's just hope it's long green runs, and maybe I'll have a chance at a good top 5.
Well, I don't want to jinx it, but we normally do see good green flag runs at Rockingham. Other than that, great job tonight, and is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to yourself and Adam for doing an awesome job on the broadcast. Race Motorsports for sponsoring the race tonight, and yeah, shout out to just AJ. AJ, it was a fun race, even though we're not always door to door, but it was a great battle, and I kind of wish the race ended a little sooner than it did, because it's like, oh man, we got 10 laps to go.
Well, thanks again, Keith. The great show you put on tonight, and we look forward to speaking to you again.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, second place finisher Keith Mayato, a happy man to beat the third place finisher here tonight. Another trip to the podium, AJ Stravato, Adam of the V-Speed booth. You got me.
Yes, sir.
Well, AJ, you were tracking down Keith there. It seemed like you needed about 1 or 2 more laps to get it done, but you closed up from 5.5 seconds back. Describe that last little run there in the battle for second.
Man, I gained a lot of respect for Keith. I know being him race hard, but that was a lot of fun at the end. I think, tires. I was talking with Zach. Obviously, he's on another freaking stratosphere when it comes to speed. He's elite. It's unbelievable how fast he is. But we were talking before Keith had made his pit stop in, how long we were going to stay out, and I knew like a lap would be good enough to get to him. I just didn't think the gap would be 5.5 seconds when we got out. I didn't realize it would be that big. And 2, lap traffic definitely played a huge role in me getting to him, but couldn't quite close the gap until Keith made that mistake. I definitely pushed my tires 2 or 3 times, just getting by lap cars that were just in really bad places at really bad times. Burned him up a little bit. So even when I got to him, the only chance I really had was giving him the bumper at the end, and we were talking about it afterwards, and he knew that was coming. But it was a lot of fun. Obviously a lot of respect out there given between me and him, and good to finish third, I'd say.
Yeah, I saw you dive it in there on the last corner. I'm like, I know he's gonna go for it, but I just don't think he's close enough. And you almost got there, but
yeah, I wasn't close enough.
I'm like, that's 10 car lengths. I don't think it's possible. But
yeah.
Another podium finish, and we head to Rockingham. Completely different style of racing out there, but how do you feel about that track?
Rockingham is one of my better tracks, I would say, with I think tire conservation. But I think we're all chasing my boy Zach. Man, he's ridiculously quick. I know he's been putting in a lot of work past 6 months here, so we're all gonna be chasing him. So I'm definitely looking forward to the challenge. I think we'll match up pretty well, and point day as well. So I'm looking forward to the next couple weeks with the tracks coming up.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it as well. We'll see if you can knock Zach off the top step of the podium. He's won 2 in a row, but I think it's prime for somebody else at Rockingham, a whole different style of racing there. So see if you can get it done, but podium finish for tonight. You start third, finish third. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Just all my teammates, man. Obviously Zach for winning. I'm glad I run endurance races with him, because yeah, he's damn quick. My teammates, Vincent Brothers, Sulfridge Brothers, Shed and Noah Shine, you and Zach for doing a hell of a job in the booth, man. It's always fun to watch these races, and just all the league sponsors that make it happen. The admins for doing a hell of a job. I know a couple of us can be kind of a pain in the ass, but they do a great job managing all of us and making this all fun. So good thing to look forward to during the week.
Awesome, AJ. Well, congrats on another podium finish here. Used to seeing you up here, and look forward to many more of these throughout the season. But great run tonight, and we'll catch you next week.
Absolutely looking forward to it.
All right. Third place finisher AJ Stravato, as we head to the rest of the results. Can't forget your race winner here tonight, Zach Carr, getting a big bump there on screen from AJ himself. Let's go to the rest of those results and see where your favorite drivers finished in tonight's race. 1 caution for the stage, no lead changes. Zach Carr led start to finish. At 27 car, unbeatable tonight. He wins by 38.6 seconds over Keith Mayato in second. AJ Stravato right there in third. Alex Pelican in fourth. Good run for him. Fifth was Jeremy Miller, who charged up from 23rd starting position. Sate Ferris started in finishes sixth. Anthony Pelican, a good run for him as well, solidly in 7th. Chris Samard 8th. Seth Hatchell finishes 9th, and Ryan Gemmel rounding out the top 10. In 11th position, it was Nick Gardner. 12th, Reggie Ortega. 13th, Angelo Ronis. 14th, Dallas Sullivan. 15th, Nick Darling. 16th, Jeremiah Vincent. 17th, Garrett Wolfenbarger. 18th, Cody Adkins. 19th, Alan Dice. Rounding out the 20th position, Timmy Emanuele.
And in 21st will be Lane Solfridge, 22nd, Dennis Steele, 23rd, Joshua Abbey, 24th, Bradley Wilson, 25th, Clint Leatherwood, 26th, Michael Newman, 27th, Jordan Shepler, 28th, Lyle Solfridge, 29th, Jacob Houston, 30th, Tony Baird, 31st, James Loveland, 32nd, Andrew Stacy, 33rd, Dennis Fairclough, and finishing in 34th tonight, Mark Beverly.
34 drivers entered, 16 finished on the lead lap. That's not too bad at all. Jeremiah Vincent last car on the lead lap, and we still had a total of 28 drivers running at the end. So very impressive race here tonight from the drivers and below the Double Yellow Racing League. And Zach, any final thoughts before we head on out?
I was very impressed with a lot of the racing tonight. I'm obviously very impressed with Zach Carr. I don't think we can say enough times how dominant he was tonight. But I'm just looking forward to next week at Rockingham. I know that produces some really good racing, and gonna be glad to be back at an oval.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun to head to that track. One of my favorites, and tonight was definitely an eye-opening experience, I think, for everybody in the field. They're gonna have to practice quite a bit to keep up with that 27 here. But yeah, a great race tonight, and we will be back tomorrow night with the Virtual Racing League from Martinsville. So a whole different style of racing there, and looking forward to a lot of fun there. If you enjoyed the broadcast tonight, check us out at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on YouTube. Consider subscribing or following on any of these platforms to stay up to date with what we're doing throughout the week. And we'll be back next week with this series on Tuesday at the Rockingham Speedway. So won't want to miss that one. Race number 4 coming up next. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great night.